In this video, we're counting down the most expensive footwear in the world. I'm talking shoes and sneakers you can work your whole life and still not be able to afford. In at number 10, we've got the Nike Air Yeezy 1s, created by none other than Kanye West. Like everything else that Kanye gets his hands on, these sneakers recently made a splash when they sold at private auction for $1.8 million. Why so expensive? Well, these were the actual sneakers worn by Kanye at the 2008 Grammy Awards, where he won 4 separate awards. And there's good news for sneakerheads because you might actually be able to own these. You see, the investment platform Rares bought the shoes and they're planning on splitting ownership into shares. So if you've ever wondered what it would be like to own a pair of trainers worn by Kanye, well, now's your chance to experience, I guess, a fraction of what that feels like. Now on to number 9 on our list, and to call this one a sneaker is actually really selling it short. Unlike the Yeezy 1s, this shoe was never worn. Also unlike the Yeezy 1s, these shoes are made of 24 karat gold. I'm talking about the $2 million gold OVO Air Jordan 10s, owned by the Toronto rap superstar Drake. To match his insane music success, Drake commissioned the artist Matthew Senna to engineer these ultra luxury kicks. Now, while it's not actually clear how much these shoes are worth, the gold alone would have cost Drake about $1.9 million. The downside of that is, I guess these shoes are just too nice to wear. But hey, there's nothing like looking at a pair of $2 million kicks to remind you that you've made it. Another pair of $2 million shoes worth mentioning are the pair of Tom Fords that were especially made for Nick Cannon back in 2014. Now, a typical pair of Tom Fords can go for hundreds or maybe even thousands of dollars. But this particular pair got a Drake style upgrade where Nick had them covered in diamonds. 14,000 diamonds to be precise. And as you can imagine, when set in white gold, these shoes really made an impression, which is probably why the internet reacted the way it did when he showed them off at the 2014 finale of America's Got Talent. Of course, before Nick Cannon, diamond shoes usually belonged to princesses, which is why number 7 on our list are the Cinderella slippers designed by Stuart Weitzman. These diamond-encrusted platinum slippers found their way onto the feet of Alison Krauss during the 2004 Oscars. That was a night where she performed with both Sting and Elvis Costello. The shoes themselves were encrusted with 565 Kuwaiti diamonds set in some of the world's finest platinum. And it's no wonder that they were once the world's most expensive shoes. However, that honour didn't last long, because another Stuart Weitzman creation soon outshone even the Cinderella slippers. The RITA HAYWORTH slippers, with a price tag of $3 million, are something truly special to behold. Unlike the imaginary Cinderella, these shoes were made for real-life Hollywood royalty, the actress Rita Hayworth. As an icon in the movie industry for decades, Rita has starred in classics like Gilda and You'll Never Get Rich, where she showed off her incredible talent for dance. And with such famous dancing feet, it's fitting that the shoes should be inspired by her. Not just inspired by her, but actually featuring her own earrings. You see, Rita donated her earrings, which were made up of rubies, sapphires and diamonds, to be incorporated into the shoe. They were worn by the musician Kathleen Bird York at the 2006 Oscars, but they're now owned by Rita's daughter, Princess Yasmin Aga Khan. Yep, she's an actual princess. And although these shoes are now valued at about $3 million, I'm willing to bet it will take a lot more than that to get Yasmin to part with these special treasures. Speaking of movies, remember those ruby red slippers that Dorothy wore in The Wizard of Oz? Well, you could say that the next pair on our list are a remake of that classic. In at number 5, we've got the Harry Winston ruby slippers, valued at $3.1 million. To put that into context, the original ruby slippers that took Dorothy back to Kansas in the movie sold at auction for $612,000. So what made the Harry Winston version so special? Well, created in 1989 for the 50th anniversary of Wizard of Oz, the Harry Winston slippers are covered in 4,600 rubies and diamonds. That's 1,350 carats of rubies and 50 carats of diamonds on one pair of shoes. But as impressive as that is, that's nothing compared to number 4 on our list. These shoes might not look special, but they're valued at about $10 million. In fact, a $10 million offer was rejected. Why are these ordinary looking shoes so expensive, you might ask? Well, they'll forever go down in history as the pair of shoes thrown at President Bush. The journalist who threw the shoes went to jail for 9 months after the incident, but that wasn't the end for him him or his famous shoes, because in 2018 he ran for a seat in Iraq's parliament, and the shoes themselves became a thing of legends when a 60-year-old Saudi Arabian man offered $10 million for them because he said they were, quote, medals of freedom. Such was the frenzy around these shoes that the manufacturer of these plain black leather shoes, known as the Ducati 271s, ended up renaming the model to the Bush shoes, and such was a demand in the aftermath of the incident that they sold hundreds of thousands of pairs and simply couldn't keep up with demand. Worth pointing out though that the pairs that they were selling were retailing for about $40. Alright, now it's time for the top 3. These are the real heavy hitters. Luxurious, elegant, and worth more money than most people will ever earn in 10 lifetimes. Number 3 on our list is a pair of heels that are worth a whopping $15.1 million. As astonishing as that sum might sound, it's actually pretty normal for fashion designer Debbie Wingham, whose other works include a $17.7 million dress and a cake worth, get this, $75 million. Yep, you heard that right, a cake that you eat, valued at $75 million. But I guess that's a topic for another video. As you might expect from someone like Debbie, her shoes are full of luxury details, including the 1,000 diamonds that cover the shoe's exquisite leather, not to mention the 2 super rare blue diamonds, with blue diamonds being the second rarest colour of diamond in the world. Okay, now moving on to number 2 on our list, and with a name like Passion Diamond Shoes, you just know they're going to be spectacular. One thing that sets these shoes apart are the 2 D-grade diamonds set into the shoes. Now, I know a D-grade might not sound too impressive when it comes to most things, but in the world of diamonds, it's actually the best rating a colourless diamond can receive. And by the way, it doesn't hurt that the rest of the shoe is decked out in gold. All of that, plus the 9 months of work it took to create them, is why these shoes are worth a whopping $17 million. And now for number 1, the most expensive shoe in the world, and that is a pair of Moonstar heels valued at $19.9 million. Designed by Antonio Vietri, it has 30 carats of diamonds, gold heels, and as if that isn't enough, the world's most expensive shoe has something else that makes it truly one of a kind. Part of a meteorite that landed in Argentina around the year 1576. With the finest elements in the world, plus some extra space bling, these shoes will be hard to top. But there's no doubt that the world's most expensive shoes will only continue to get more and more expensive. And when they do, we'll be sure to let you know. Okay, which of these shoes do you like the most? Which would you love to own? Leave a comment down below, I'd love to know. And hey, if you've just splashed out 17 million bucks on a pair of shoes, you better have some insane security measures to keep them safe. If you haven't seen our video about the incredible lengths the uber wealthy go to stay safe, I'll leave a link for you to check out on screen now. As always, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you on the next video.